You gotta go to work here in a little bit.
Uh, I told my supervisor I was gonna be in late, so he didn't care.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, so
Lord
I'll be
have mercy on my
as long as we're not
soul.
going to like 9:30, I'm fine.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's get this shit going then. What's good,
Okay.
YouTube? I
Hey
actually stole
everybody.
that from somebody that plays Yu-Gi-Oh, but it was just hilarious to me that I heard it, and I'm just sticking with it. In today's episode, we're not wearing any pants. We're talking about the worst color in the entire game, green.
Oh,
In the set 16 reveals, we got Coleman from all the way in the neck of the woods of Turkey, if anybody lives there. Highly unlikely, but
highly
um,
unlikely.
you're interested in Green Beerus and Green Champa, and you think it's goated. Why?
Okay, so green has been in a interesting spot to say the least for the last, let's say, year, where our only good leader has been Self-Surge. But with the reveal of this new Champa and Beerus leader, I think this gave green some solid gas in it.
Okay.
Their only, I say, drawback is they start with like 4 and 5 life, but their awakenings are real strong and their abilities are very strong. And I think this could be kind of a really hard turning point for green to have some pretty much maybe not tier one, but some solid high tier twos
Yeah.
deck leaders.
Let me just pull up the window here side by side. I don't care how jank this looks for anybody. Not even a little bit. You don't need to see my pretty face. You guys see it all the time. Pull this up. All right, so let's talk about this Beerus real quick. Pretty interesting stuff we got going on here. You start with 4 life. I just want to start. I just want to like these leaders literally say, "Oh, hello, wife."
Sorry. There's so much puke in here.
Hey Matthew, we'll need to edit that part out.
My bad.
It happens. What's good, YouTube? No. So start the game out with 4 life, brother. Does this concern you, or is this like fine because KP King Piccolo was in the same spot, and everybody thought that shit was wild? Like, why would you want to start the game with half life or 2 life less? Talk about it.
Yeah, so you're right. When it first dropped and it first revealed, it was like 4 life. I was kind of concerned, but I remember like King Piccolo started off with 6 life, and that deck had a lot of gas starting out. But 4 life also is a lot of has a lot of good starting points too for the deck as well, because you could start off and use almost 90% of the super combos in the game.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of really good super combos that are broken, especially like the Depending Father Paragus, great super combo. So if you get that on turn 1, it's ready to go. So you can already do the draw 2, warp 1, and you get plus 10 super combo.
Yeah.
Additionally, the leader starts at 15k power and 20k power on its front and back. So most people aren't going to be able to swing into it turns 1, turns 2.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think on the backside we have a 20k here, 20k body, which is super dope. Why is it being so wild right now? Yeah.
Plus, with the Beerus' Activate main, this kind of turns this deck into no matter what, you're going to have a draw 1. And you're not going to have to you don't have to worry about giving your opponent hand advantage over you either.
Yeah.
Because if you go first, you can just switch to rest mode, draw a card, and then play a card. If you so choose. You don't have to. You can keep the hand advantage. Or you can go into, you go second, draw for turn, play your energy, and then switch this card to rest mode, and now you have much bigger hand advantage over your opponent.
Right. Okay.
So I think this deck's going to be crazy.
I mean, I definitely think the Beerus is better overall just because there's more U7 cards in our game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of looking at everything and like what we have going on. I mean, you're drawing 2 on the Awaken, you're Awakening turn 1 if your opponent can push in that extra damage. The only thing is it has the Bandai balancing, where we've seen broken decks before pop off way too strong with being able to free play too many different cards, and unfortunately with green and this whole concept here, we have an issue where everything costs 1 to 2 energy to play. And if you're playing the field spell on 1, you really can't even kill until turn 6 if your opponent is dumb enough to play a battle card every single turn.
Yes, and you're right. I don't think, and the thing is, I think most game ones, this deck might be people trying to figure it out and might lose to the mechanic and stuff like that. But the cards that they released earlier today, I think, really help fill out the deck, and it's what it's trying to do.
Okay.
It kind of gives it 2 avenues to go. So like you have the field card spell, the way the wind there, but they still gave out some new cards today with like the 2 taps and the 3 taps and the 4-drop SRs that they released.
Okay.
Apply enough pressure so if your opponent decides not to play cards, okay, I'll swing at you with crits and double strikes all day long because these 2 drops are fire.
Yeah.
Especially in my opinion, because I love crit, being a green player with hand destruction. That 15 drop the 2 drop green Piccolo that was released is really, really good. No battle cards in play. Cool. It's a 15k crit. And then you can use the field spell to redirect attacks into it, and then you can get that Goku card in for 1.
We're having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
It's in here somewhere. It wouldn't let me like easy switch over to the other cards for some reason.
Gotcha.
That's all right, Matthew. Matthew's the GOAT. All right.
I figured as much.
Tell me I can switch. There we go. Awesome. So I'm going to slim us down a little bit here. There we go. And we can still... Yep, we can still slide. So we got Champa on screen right now. 5 life instead. Basically doing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can switch mode, draw a card. If you have no battle cards, again, just play another 2-drop. Let's go to the first support. We got Whis on deck. And we have a Vados that kind of matches. Again, these are the exact same thing. Each are designed specifically for each of the leaders that just came out, where you can play the field. I'll be honest, this Empower skill, this is devastating for the game. And what I mean by that is like, they're going to have to check every single unison now. From now for the rest of the game, as long as this is a skill, and this can be detrimental. Like, being able to carry over X amount of markers, they're going to forget that cards do this. They're going to forget that this is a skill. They're going to print something that's so broken, you're not going to play anything else. Because you can carry over so many markers.
Yes, or like unisons like the old Zeno unison, the first one they dropped, that's got the +2 and pluses up real fast.
Yeah, and he has 5, 6, 7 markers on him. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, like, it just keeps going up.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of these old unisons are going to be relevant again, and a lot of these new unisons are going to be crazy. I just think, unfortunately, the Vlados and the Whis weren't the best ones for green to be dropped for get the empowerment skill, just because their only thing is just to get the planet or the nameless planet into play.
Yeah.
And they don't do much after that.
I'm just going to skip straight to the nameless planet just so we can see what that does.
Yep.
Amazing keyword here. Amazing keyword. Barrier. You put barrier on a field spell for once. Like, cool. All those cards you guys tech to stop Tuffle, to stop King Cold, no longer work. Like, there is nothing in the game except for Zeno Unison that says clear something ignoring barrier in the field spell zone. Like, that's insane. If your leader's Champa, if it's Beerus, and they have to be green. So these are the only leaders you can play this card in. If a battle card of yours KOs a battle card and places it under and KOs it, place it under this card instead of into the drop area. So you're not getting cards that card effects that are happening in the drop because they never actually touch the drop. You're talking a lot more about battle card actual battles instead, like clearing boards in green in these decks is important.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm gonna pull up that ruling now. And just so you guys know, if you have 5 cards under under this card, you win the game instantly.
It's just this is so fun to see. That's just a great way. I love that Bandai's coming with new ways to like evolve the game a little bit to make it more enjoyable and
here, guys. But this is a quote directly from David Fashbinder. asked by Scott Dashy in one of the Facebook groups. You guys can see this here. This is referencing a skill off of the new Kaioken, but basically if a card is attacking and somewhere in the text it says KO that battle card, you are going to trigger the field spell. Which is crazy. Like, that is insane amount of value on cards such as, and I'm going to start on the Kaioken here. This tap 1 green double strike Kaioken. Zach, take us away.
So when this card, before when it was first released, I didn't know about that ruling. So I was kind of looking at this Goku. A, the card looks crazy good, and I can't wait to see the SPR reprint of it. But B, to me, it was like, 2 of, maybe 3 of. It kind of just depends on how the deck plays out.
Right.
But now with that ruling, this is probably going to be almost an automatic 3 of, if not a 4 of for me in my decks, just because that is such a good card. It's so easy to get into play, and it just pairs really well with the Beerus deck in general. Because once you've already KO'd 1 card for the turn, you can just now use him to just, okay, let me just rip cards out of your hand too. And then with the Beerus leader ability on the backside, being able to Spirit Boost and take another card out of someone's hand when a card gets KO'd, it's such a good ability, and I'm glad the ruling's like that now. But this is, again, I think this is where Bandai's made a deck that's probably out the gate probably too strong, and it's going to get hit with some bans or Raditz or something quickly.
Maybe. And the only reason I'm saying maybe is because it does have the clause. You have to KO a card already out first. So he can't be the first battle card you play. And the battle card you do play has to be big enough and strong enough to be able to just straight up out the gate kill something.
Yes.
And once you establish this, then your opponent's going to have some difficulties. But he's not unique. I really enjoy that. He is double strike, so he can push pressure on leader. And he has that inherent, if your opponent decides not to play a battle card, discard a card.
Yes. I like how there is punishment in this deck for if your opponent's like, okay, I'm not playing, I'll just play with my big boys, and it's like, cool, I'm going to punish by taking things out of your hand.
Yep. I think this green archetype, I will say, makes the new SS4 Vegeta thwarting more interesting. And by that, I mean, you can swing into battle cards now, right? Because of the new cards that came out today. But being able to play bombs, they all have to have barrier at some point. Because if they don't have barrier, then they're just getting KO'd by this card immediately.
Oh, yes.
Like, this makes boss monsters really, really hard to want to establish. So, next card, we got Vegeta. Lost Kingdom, dual attacker, 20k again. 20k bodies, guys. Tap 2 to combo and play this card from combo if you have 3 or more energy.
So this card was another one I thought would be just a simple. Originally I thought this would be the card that I'm going to put 4 of in, just because I love hand destruction.
Yeah.
But now with that ruling on the Goku, I think this would probably be my 2 of, maybe 3 of. But I still love, when this card attacks and KOs an opponent's battle card, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, discards once per turn.
Yep.
I still think that's a great ability.
2 straightforward. All right, guys. This is the generic card, guys. The card that you don't actually have to play in this deck. You can play this in any green deck. Hit Assassin Strike. Zach, what deck does this go in? What deck does this go in and break?
So this will probably be the deck, or probably be the card that breaks the Cell Surge back and gets bans, or gets Raditz, or gets limits. This card is bonkers. And I cannot believe they gave this card barrier of all things. Yes, you can counterplay it, and yes, you can do things for it, but there's not a lot of decks that can do anything to it.
Nope, it is a 4-drop 20k. And it has dual attack, so you're putting on pressure twice, and then if you're in lethal range, they're dropping cards already. And just the fact that this is better than Dormant,
oh my god.
This makes Dormant, the obsolete. This is the D-Magic for when Whis was a card. Whis Coercion.
Oh,
Like this
yes.
is like gonna push Dormant to the side a little bit, and everybody's just gonna play this hit instead. And
Oh god, this will
again,
be
you can just tap
such a
2
4
for
up.
it.
Oh my god, it's so good. So it's a dual attacker, so you're applying pressure to leader, unisons, whatever you want to apply pressure to, or it's clearing the battlefield to go with the archetype. But just to, you know, hey, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand, discards them. If they don't, then they negate the attack,
And you can't attack for the turn.
and then you can't attack anymore for the turn. So that's an automatic just turn shut down.
Right.
And that's any card they attack too, not just like leader or unison or battle cards. It's any
Right.
card they attack. It's just when they attack.
Hmm.
And I think the part that's the worst part about this card is it's not limited to 1 per field, so you can play 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean the skill is limit 1, but the fact that like the negate skill is limit 1, so you can only activate that once per turn. But again, that's a multiple dual attackers that you can just have out on board for free. Like as late as the game goes, you have that many more 20k dual attackers.
Yeah.
Which in a lot of decks, like against blue, like that makes Bean obsolete. Like you have to keep getting ready cards in your hand, just keep getting out of these attacks. So we have a lot in store for this new Assassin Strike. Referee, guys. This is your unison again. Again, this card can only be played in these 2 decks. And if your opponent has no battle cards in play, your opponent reveals their hand, and you may choose a battle card, 3 or less, and play it for them. This is just starting your opponent's chain if they're like tippy-toeing around playing a battle card because they're scared. All right?
Mhm.
Like, you can force those battle card interactions. Like Hashiyak, if Hashiyak doesn't want to play a battle card, guys, make them play that little 5K. Make them play that little 2 drops. So on and so forth, all right? And then Realm of the Gods, Champa destroys. What do you think about this?
So I kind of hate the artwork
That's fair.
on it,
He looks fat.
but it just looks bad. I feel like they could have took a better angle or a better photo. But all in all, I do really like these new. I don't want to call them iconic cards, but they're very reminiscent of the older iconic cards. I think they're going to be like a cheaper version of them, but they're still very good. And I think for this archetype, it's also a really good card too, because once per turn, or if it's your turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards greater than their current energy and KO it, so it goes really well, pairs really well there. And then if it's your opponent's turn, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, discards it, and then choose one of your cards, and it gets plus 5k for the battle. So you get a 15k boost to whatever card you need, or a 10k, 5k, whatever. And then also rip a card out of their hand, and then turn it back onto your turn. You get that free KO, so now you can just start applying pressure to other places if you need to.
Yeah, good stuff. And that ends it for this. These reveals. Let's go to the newer reveal that just dropped today. Yeah, 13 hours ago. Starting out with the Son Goku to Battle Universe 6. First off, very iconic moment here. Like, this is just really like reminiscent of like just that little arc right there. Like, as an uncommon foil, I like it.
Yeah. Actually, all of these I really like that dropped today. They look really good.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of spice, bro. In a second. All right, let's talk about this Goku form real quick.
Okay, so this Goku is a double strike, then permanent. This card can attack active mode battle cards without barrier. So if they have barrier, you can't swing into them, which is fine because there's not a lot of cards in the game that have barrier. So I feel like that'll be okay. And then permanent, if your opponent has no battle cards, this card gets plus 5k and crit. So it's already got double strike, so to hit him with a double strike crit.
Double strike crit.
That shit's lit.
Super
That's crazy. So if they just say like, all right, I'm just not gonna play battle cards, I'm just gonna not let you have that win con, it's like cool, then I'm just gonna swing at your leader and apply pressure that way and try and get over this 25k double strike body.
Yeah.
But also the auto, which I thought was weird, but then I quickly found out why. When this card is played using a skill, draw 1. It is bonkers because of the 2 drops right after it, which is the Vegeta and the Piccolo. And
Oh, gotcha. Tell me about the Vegeta and Piccolo then.
So let's start with the Vegeta since it's just the next card. During your turn, your card can't attack battle cards or with barrier. It gets plus 10k. If your opponent has no battle cards in play, this card gets double strike. And then this card is auto. Tap 1. When this card is KO'd, draw a card, and then choose one U7 card with the energy cost of 3 in your hand and play it. So that Goku that we just talked about.
Okay.
So crazy. So essentially, you're getting 2 draws off it, and you can free play this Vegeta or the Piccolo. Due to leader effect. These cards, again, I think are really, really good. And plus, I just think, realistically, this is what made me go, I'm going to play this deck. These 2 drops are crazy. The 3 drops crazy. All the 4 drops are crazy. I really want to get my hands on this deck. I think this Vegeta is going to be a great card to A, apply pressure to leader, or B, delete unisons off early.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unisons that just only get +1 and have 15k power, so you're going to be getting rid of them real fast, real quick.
Okay.
And then also, their skill pairs really, really well with the field card. As you know, like you can rest the field card and then redirect an attack to them, so that forces the attack to come to these guys. And being 5k bodies, on an opponent's turn, that KO happens. That auto is going to proc. You're going to draw 1,
right.
Play the Goku, draw another.
Yep. Now, this Piccolo, right? Let me tell you something. There's a card in the world called Assimilate. just so you know, you can grab this off of Assimilate. While you're looking at Assimilate, and you're trying to find this Piccolo card, go to DBS Deck Planet, do yourself a favor, and just type in the word Piccolo. This Piccolo card in these decks might just be the Namekian deck we're all looking for, guys. Like, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor now. Like, just look up the Piccolo. Just look up that word, look up some greeny Piccolo card, and just see what kind of meshes with this card a little bit, because it's a lot freer than you think. This card has crit on it. This card has 15k on it because of the permanents. Again, when this card's KO, draw a card. Like, it's very, very, very just free. And you get to play a 3-drop again. Super combo is the Boo, just a generic Universe 6 super combo. Again, this is one of those arts, I'm just like, I want this super combo foil. Like, nothing is cooler than Majin Buu, like Fat Buu, on foil cardboard. He is just so funny to look at and just so powerful in the anime. You're just like, he's goated. Manaka, guys, do yourself, like, this is almost as gimmicky as commemorative photo. Also,
Instant 4 of.
If you're not main decking one commemorative photo in green, you're wrong. Play, draw a card, and then if you attack a hit on your opponent's side of the battlefield, KO it. Why? Like, so gimmicky. Just another troll card. Get your playset of foils. Whis, 30k, 3-drop, skillless. You can play this off the Piccolo and the Vegeta, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, then, easy. For 1. Not bad at all. Sibling Squabble. Take her away.
So Sibling Squabble is a tap 1, activate main. If your leader card is a Green Beerus or Champa, so it has to go with the archetype. Draw 1 card, and if your opponent has more cards than you in their hand, their opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, discards it. Not too crazy about it, but I still think it's a good card for the archetype. If you have space in there, you could use it, but I don't think you should be making room for it.
I don't think I'm making room for it in my green decks.
Yeah.
Not that I play green anyways, but I don't think I'm making room for this card.
Yeah.
However, this card, damage negation, I'll be honest, this is a 2 of in my side deck. Like, if I was playing green, this is a instant side deck card, and they can just go ahead and just unerrata a Xenocell while they're at it. That way I can make this more liable. Like, just cool. I don't take damage from this attack because I'm negating it, and then for the rest of the turn, I'm not taking damage from keywords. That's
yeah. Yeah, this
generic. Like, any green deck can play this card.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great side deck card to play, to use. I think it's, once you know what your opponent's trying to do or trying to play or trying to, like, burn you out, this is a great card to use. negate the attack, and be like, haha, alright, now I'm just done for the turn.
Yep. And I think that's it for the reveals for today. Tomorrow we have Universe 6. But as we can see already, like, as of right now, the Universe 7 cards are quite a bit better. We're going to look at them tomorrow. You guys should do yourself a favor and look at the cards coming up in the set. Start practicing on untap. Make hand proxies out of a printer. You know, just start playing with the cards a little bit. It's right. Hey, man, don't laugh at my jankiness. I do it all the time. We be printing stuff off, bro. Just, all right, I'm playing this.
I forgot we be printing stuff off.
But practice with these cards. See how it's testing in the meta currently. And you might find that, hey, this deck's actually pretty good. Like, to you, this might be where you're at. If you guys are having a set 16 format, like, on release days, a lot of local stores are pushing, like, hey, you guys are only playing set 16 today. Is Beerus the deck for you? Is Champa the deck for you? Like, check them out. I will say, in my opinion, as of looking at the set as a whole, this is a set to buy. I don't buy boxes anymore. I usually buy singles. Like, that's how it is. But if you're a person trying to get into the game, or you just like all the archetypes, like this, I would say is DBS breaking. Like, this is the game changing and molding into something newer, where you can start playing decks again, like set 10, set 11. U7, Goku, guys. God damn. My lord. That deck is a deck. That Zamasu's coming out, I don't care what anybody says, but that's a deck. Like, I'm playing it. I played set 10 Zamasu. I'm definitely playing Wish Zamasu. But yeah, look at the cards, guys. Test them out. Put them on untap. You can already do that. Zach, any comments?
So being almost a lifetime green player at this point, but realistically a lifetime hand destruction player, I do agree with what you're saying about the format as a whole. I really like the Great Priest deck. I thought that deck was great. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Do I think it's gonna be a top tier deck? No, not necessarily. But I think it's gonna be a great deck to kind of bring in off as like a side meta or off meta pick.
Yeah.
These new green leaders breathe fresh air into green and give us something other than Cell Surge to play, more or less. I think these will. I think these will challenge Cell Surge in a way, but their problem right now, and I'm gonna play out more, do some more untapped games to kind of figure it out if it's the deck I really want to commit to when I play in my regionals, my nationals, or my locals here or online. I think aggro is a problem for the deck, but that's quickly changing too. Because the better I get with it, the less aggro becomes a problem for me.
Yep. I mean, like, again, it just falls into the King Piccolo, like, the King Piccolo, like, issue. Like, it only started at 6. Well, you're even at less life now. And decks like Vegeta can put on a double striker on 1. Like,
yeah.
What? You're going against AOD, they can put out 15k swings on turns 2 and 3 combined. That's when your deck starts going a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you're almost living off of dormant. You're also, like, if the ban list doesn't address some variations of, like, what the current meta is, how far can these decks go? Like,
yeah.
Why would I play Cell Surge? Or not Cell Surge, Beerus now, when Cell Surge is a better just hand destruction deck?
Yes, exactly.
Why would I play Kaba from set 15 if Soul Striker is just a better deck? So, again, guys,
and that's
thoughts,
yeah, go ahead.
Opinions. That whole discussion is for a different timeline, a different video. So that's where we're going to end this video off. And we'll start with I think blue is next. Blue reveals are next. Blue, guys. Blue reveals are next. 100%.
You know they're not. They got Champa next.
Oh, shit. You know what?